He was dynamic, he had great physical strength, and he drew the attention of more than one player, which always made it easier for the rest of the team. He was a match winner in his own right and could dominate a game.
5 of the players were selectors actually for the team, which isn't a good thing. And we had 2 fly-halves in the first test against Australia, Tony Harris and Van der Vyver, who were chosen as fly-halves, but the committee thought they weren't up to test match standard, and Craven was brought in to play fly-half. I don't think it was a good idea, but that's what they decided, and we just managed to win that first test.
My opposite number in the test, anyway, was Tony Harris, and I thought he was jolly lucky because the Doc would get his grass out, you know, with his dive pass, and gave him every time and space to work in. And I must say that I had a very good scrum half working with me. It was not quite the same as what was going on the other side. It wasn't as good, but he was always thinking of what to do. He never had a set piece, as it were. If it was the scrum, it wasn't always just going on the blind side, and if it was going about, it was some other feature that would happen that would put the opposition off turn.
You can always feel Danie Craven's presence, particularly his disapproval. Danie has a way of lowering his eyelids that could stop a regiment at 2 miles range. And he had instilled a great sense of discipline into that Springbok team. And I think it came through in the 4th test. We should really have won that 4th test. We were ahead at the half, but that sense of collective pride in their South African heritage, they won't be beaten, came through in the second half, and they really took us apart.
I term him as an exciting coach because you never knew from one weekend to the next what was going to be on the agenda. I think so much of rugby today is repetitive and the coaching methods are repetitive, but certainly one thing I remember about Doc, there was always something new and innovative. You know, he was regarded as the great motivator, and he suddenly one day said, you know, you can't really motivate anybody. It's impossible. And we sort of all looked at him with, you know, astonished eyes, and he says, what you can really only do is sort of set the circumstances within which people can motivate themselves. And I think he was a master at that.
But it's the determination of Doc, the way he can convince you that you can do it. That is very important, and I think in that way he managed to build many players, even in inspiring them to reach out beyond their own ability, which make him such a great coach, such a great man.
He's very good with young people, gathering them around them, teaching them not only rugby but a way of life.
Doc's influence, of course, was strong in encouraging us to go on and not to go home, as many players wanted us to do. So he provided that kind of stability necessary under such circumstances. He was the, you know, he encouraged us to be cool and composed and to concentrate on the game rather, and that was important.
I still respect him, and I think everybody respects him. I wish I could help him more, but you must remember that I wasn't voted out of the executive. I walked out of it, and then again I walked because we all decided to walk, but 3 stuck to their guns and 3 didn't. Fact of the matter is that I spoke to Dr. afterwards, and even today, he's the most friendliest man I can even imagine to.
Ever since I was a small boy in Wales, Danie Craven has always been synonymous with South African rugby.
You know, in South Africa, everybody talks about him as Mr. Rugby, but I think the only tribute I can actually give him tonight is by saying that he's Mr. World Rugby.
He wants more, and he can't get it fast enough. He's a hard taskmaster, and he normally gets things done.
Firstly, he's an honest man, direct, and you know where you stand with him.
The genius of the man, that's the one thing that I admire the most. He's a genius.
If I had to pinpoint one strength that Doc has, and that is his ability to change.
I don't think I've ever known anybody as sincere as Doc Craven.
But you felt that he had a command, and more than that, he commanded what I believe is the most important thing for young people. He commanded the respect. And what Danie said, it mightn't have been right all the time. It went.
There's a lovely line of William Butler Yeats, the poet, and I would sum him up in the company of South African players who were here tonight. Yeats wrote a couplet which went, "Think where man's glory most begins and ends, and say, my glory was, I had such friends." Danie Craven is a friend.